Relationship advice. Caught in the act, navigating trust after discovering an AirTag in my car. It started as an ordinary day, one of those routine weekdays that blur together when life is busy. I was at work, answering emails and trying to make it through the afternoon when my boyfriend Mike texted me. He offered to pick up my car during his lunch break to get my oil changed. It was thoughtful, one of those little gestures that make a relationship feel solid. I thanked him and went about my day, never thinking twice about it. But then I saw the map. My heart dropped. It had been tracking me all the way from my job, every stop, every turn. I stood there, staring at the screen, feeling a strange mix of confusion and dread. Why would an AirTag be tracking me? I clicked on the play sound button, my hand trembling slightly, and that's when I heard it. This faint, persistent beeping sound. It was coming from the trunk of my car. At this point, I was uneasy but still trying to rationalize it. Maybe someone accidentally dropped it, I thought. Maybe it wasn't malicious, but the fact that it was following me specifically made it hard to shake the sinking feeling in my chest. I grabbed a flashlight and went outside, determined to find it. I searched around the trunk area, but I couldn't see anything. The sound was faint but clear, definitely coming from somewhere inside. After several minutes of searching and coming up empty-handed, I gave up and went inside to ask my brother for help. He's the kind of guy who loves a mystery. When I told him what was going on, he didn't even hesitate. We grabbed some tools and started taking apart the trunk lining, working our way through every nook and cranny. The beeping continued, faint but persistent, like a heartbeat echoing in a quiet room. It took nearly an hour, but finally my brother found it. The AirTag was buried deep beneath the trunk lining, hidden so well it was almost like it wasn't meant to be found. He pulled it out and stared at it, then at me, his face serious. "This was hidden on purpose," he said. "Someone put this here, and they didn't want you to find it." His words sent a chill down my spine. I stood there staring at the tiny white disc in his hand, my mind racing. Who would do this? And why? That's when I remembered something I'd read online about AirTags. Apparently, you can check the serial number and even see the last 4 digits of the phone number it's registered to. My brother pulled up the settings on my phone, and we followed the steps to find the information. When the digits popped up on the screen, my stomach turned. I knew those numbers. They were Mike's, my boyfriend of a year and a half. I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. Mike, the man I trusted, the man I was planning to move in with in just a few months. He had put an AirTag in my car, tracking me without my knowledge. I didn't say anything for a long time, just stood there staring at the numbers on my phone. My brother broke the silence. "You need to talk to him," he said. "This isn't normal. This is serious." But I couldn't, not yet. I needed to process it first, to make sense of how someone who claimed to love me could invade my privacy like this. I started replaying every moment in our relationship, looking for clues. Mike had always been a little jealous, but I chalked it up to his insecurities. He would make comments about how long it took me to get home from work, or ask why I didn't respond to his texts right away. At the time, I thought it was harmless, even flattering in a strange way. But now, with the AirTag in my hand, it didn't feel harmless anymore. This wasn't about love or care. This was about control. I went back inside, the AirTag still clutched in my hand, and sat down on the couch. My mind was a storm of emotions: anger, betrayal, confusion. I wanted to confront Mike, to demand answers, but I also wanted to be smart about it. If he had gone to this length to track me, what else was he capable of? I started Googling. I read story after story about people who had found AirTags planted on their cars, used by exes or stalkers to track their every move. It was terrifying to think that I was now one of those stories. By the time I went to bed that night, I still hadn't decided what to do. The AirTag sat on my nightstand, its silence somehow louder than the beeping had been. The next morning, Mike texted me like nothing had happened. "Hope your car is running better now," he wrote. I stared at the message, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. I had to decide, do I confront him now, or wait until I have more time to figure out my next steps? What I did know was this: I couldn't ignore it, not anymore. Because no matter how much I loved Mike, this wasn't love. This was something else entirely, and I wasn't going to let it slide. What will be your advice? Comment below. Thanks for watching. For more interesting daily life stories, make sure to subscribe and comment your ideas. I will be posting more stories about a lot of aspects of life.